Okay, so you're here because you like to stay ahead of the curve, right? Know what's shifting, what's surprising in culture, especially music.
And things definitely just got surprising.
They really did. We're going to dive straight into the latest from Kanye West because, well, there's a lot happening. Again,
Always seems to be, doesn't it? He certainly keeps everyone talking.
no kidding.
Yeah.
So let's rewind a bit first. Cast your mind back to, what, 2018? Everyone was hyped for that album Yandhi.
Oh, yeah, Yandhi. That was supposed to be the next big release.
It really was. And then, poof, it just sort of disappeared, didn't it? It ended up turning into Jesus is King.
The gospel album. A completely different direction.
Totally. But you know those original Yandhi tracks? They didn't really vanish. A lot of them leaked online over the years.
Right, so people kind of had this idea of what it was, this sort of legendary unreleased project. It built up a whole mythology around it.
Exactly. It felt like a closed chapter, something that was but wouldn't be.
You'd think so.
But nope. So Kanye's doing a live stream recently, apparently from Spain, and just like super casually, he says, "We got to release Yandhi."
Just like that. Wow.
Just like that, after all this time.
That is unexpected. Going back to something from that far back, especially after such a public shift with Jesus is King, makes you wonder, why now?
Right. What's the thinking there? And speaking of projects coming back in unexpected ways, Yandhi 2.
Ah, yes, Yandhi 2, the STEM player exclusive.
Exactly. So that technically dropped back in February 2022.
Technically is the key word there.
For sure. Because unless you bought his specific STEM player device, you couldn't actually hear it.
Which most people didn't. It was a very niche release strategy. Controversial, even.
Definitely limited its reach. So for basically everyone, Yandhi 2 was this thing that existed somewhere, but wasn't accessible.
More heard about than actually heard.
Well, guess what? This week, that changed.
Yeah.
It's actually landed on streaming platforms. Spotify, Apple Music, the works.
Okay, now that's a significant shift, making it widely available after all.
Finally. But here's another little wrinkle. It's not under his main Kanye West artist page on Spotify. It's under a new profile called just Yandhi.
Huh. That's odd. Any idea why? Splitting the catalog like that.
No clue, honestly. Just another layer to the whole thing. So this streaming version, is it the same as the STEM player one?
Mostly, but not entirely. There are some pretty noticeable changes, actually.
Okay, like what? What's different?
Well, first big one,
Yeah.
that track Easy with the game, the one with the controversial video.
Yeah, I remember that one.
It's gone. Completely removed from the streaming version.
Interesting. Okay, so something's out. Anything new added in?
Yes. There's a new track featuring Future and Playboi Carti called Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, okay, so a new collab swapped in. What else?
There's also the track 530. Now, some listeners might have heard an unfinished version of this floating around, potentially linked to Ty Dolla $ign's Vultures too.
Right. These tracks sometimes have a life of their own before they settle.
Exactly. It seems like Kanye's taken it back, finished it up, and included the refined version here on Yandhi 2.
Okay, makes sense. Anything else standing out?
Oh, definitely. There's an academics rant included.
Through the internet personality academics. A rant. About what?
About Kim Kardashian, about the situation with access to the kids. It's pretty direct.
Wow. Okay, so putting real life, very public drama right into the album, that feels very Kanye.
It certainly blurs those lines between art and personal life, which is something he often does. It's quite a statement to include something like that.
No kidding. But then isn't Kim's voice still on the album somewhere too?
It is, yeah. On the track Sci-Fi, it uses audio from her Saturday Night Live hosting gig back in 2021.
Where she was actually saying some really positive things about him, praising him.
So you have that praise preserved on one track, and then this academics rant criticizing her situation on another part of the same album.
The contrast is stark. It's like capturing this incredibly complex public relationship breakdown in audio form.
It really is a snapshot of a very turbulent time presented together.
So, okay, let's try and connect these dots. We've got the sudden Yandhi announcement. Maybe it's coming, maybe not.
Right, the resurrection of the anticipated but never released project.
And then we have the official wide release of Yandhi 2, but it's slightly changed and arriving almost 2.5 years late for most people.
Yeah, the arrival of the previously exclusive and now altered project.
Why do you think this is all happening now? Any theories?
It's hard to say for sure, obviously. It could be about tying up loose ends creatively. Maybe wanting to finally put these definitive versions out there under his control.
Reclaiming the narrative, maybe?
Yeah.
Especially with Yandhi leaks and the Yandhi A2 stem player situation.
That could definitely be part of it. There's also the simple fact that artists revisit old work. Maybe he feels Yandhi deserves a proper release, or that Yandhi A2 needed wider reach.
It makes you think differently about albums, doesn't it? They aren't always these static things released on one day. They could evolve, reappear.
Absolutely, the lines get blurry, especially with digital distribution and, well, Kanye's particularly unpredictable approach. It challenges how we think about an artist's canon.
So, wrapping up the key points for everyone listening, keep an ear out for Yandhi. It might actually be happening.
Fingers crossed for those who've waited years.
And Yandhi A2 is now officially on streaming services, easily accessible, though slightly different from its original form.
Go check it out, see what you think of the changes.
It's definitely another chapter.
Yeah.
Keeps things interesting, you have to give them that.
Never a dull moment. It really highlights how fluid music creation and release can be today.
So here's the thought I want to leave you with. What does it really mean when an artist goes back to these shelved or half-released projects years later? When they decide now is the time to put them out officially, maybe even altered, how does that change how we see their whole creative journey, especially now when old leaks and old versions live forever online anyway?